on, everybody? Welcome back to another riveting episode of the Viall Files Ask Nick edition. I'm your host, Nick, joined by the household of Amanda. Allie is in St. Paul eating her girl lunch. Is it girl food?
It's
or
not
what is it
only
called? Girl dinner?
lunch,
girl dinner.
But it's like one of those Natalie plates or Tiffany plates. What's her name on TikTok where she does like all the different
sauces?
No, but it's like she does a lot with like cottage cheese and mustard.
Oh.
And then she dips like her veggies in it. And it's just like a bunch of random things on a plate. And that's what I'm eating today.
It's like a charcuterie, an unhinged charcuterie. Can someone explain cottage cheese?
Ugh.
I've been in a big cottage cheese phase.
I feel like I could enter my era.
Are you lactose intolerant?
Yeah. Wasn't breastfed. Loving cottage cheese.
Is that not,
Allie,
does that not have lactose?
Also,
does that not have lactose
I'm the only
in
one
it?
who doesn't understand how those statements are connected. Like, I feel like we just got several different things. It was like breastfeeding, cottage cheese, lactose intolerance.
But like cottage cheese has lactose in it, does it not?
Yes.
I
just like, I feel like you tell your body what to do.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I'm
not going to yuck your yum, Allie.
Thank you.
Allie, I miss you. It was so nice. Obviously, people noticed you were in studio last week. And I have a reveal, which is that after I went to Allie's house to just like hang out while she was like packing up the apartment, etc., I came out and my car got hit. I was the victim of a hit and run.
In my neighborhood?
And I was waiting to tell
so
you
sorry.
on it. No, it's not your fault at all. It's not your fault.
How fucked up is your car?
It's really dented. And it's like, it's not the first scratch. Because it's like, I feel like when I moved to LA, like within kind of like the first 6 months, like I had like a parking garage bought from hell, etc. Like, you know.
You get some,
Yeah, you get a few initial ones, but this was like real. Like you can tell that it's like some fucking asshole was trying to make a 12-point turn on a really narrow street and just like hit my car hard. And I'm so sad.
I'm so sorry.
But that was my big reveal. Have you ever been in a hit and run before?
No.
Allie has. She's nodding. Give it to us.
I got sideswiped so badly when I was going to the nail salon that Natalie recommended, and I was pissed.
I'm here in North Hollywood.
And they took off?
Oh yeah, I like came out from getting my nails done and it was like a bad swipe.
I mean, in college, my roommate, he got in, I think, a car accident, and he loved his car. He was one of, I don't know why. It was a totally fine car, but for him, it was a big deal back, college, whatever. Got it fixed. 2 days later, we walk outside and he was street parking.
Oh.
We walk outside and his car is demolished because someone like T-boned it overnight. And you could tell that they were like, it was like clearly a drunk driver because his car got the biggest impact. It was demolished. But like the cars leading up to it, like their rear view mirror, their side mirror, whatever, was like off. And there was like scrapes against cars leading up to his, but his was destroyed. And it was right after it got fixed.
Damn. Damn. This is a PSA. If you see a hit and run, leave it out. Because like I've seen hit and runs and I will take a picture of the license plate and then go back and like leave a note because I'm like, not on my watch. Because it's like, so if you see a hit and run, you got to help people out because it's like, it sucks. You just walk out.
Do you leave your information as well?
Yeah.
So that you can be a witness?
Yeah, because I'm like for insurance and I'm like, hey, text me if you have any questions.
Dude, but that's the thing. Like with insurance, I tried to submit mine after it happened, which they're like, fine, but I have $1,000 deductible. And I'm like, I don't want to pay $1,000 for a 13-year-old car.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
I've never used an insurance
demoralizing.
claim, ever.
Well, because like the deductible of it all, like you're just like, damn, I did
you
nothing.
really only give car insurance really just to protect you against if you were to hit someone or the liability of it, or if your car gets fucking totaled. But like other than that, it really doesn't behoove you to file a claim for a fender bender.
Right. And I think it's hard for morale because I feel like in LA there's so much car culture, and I've never been someone who really admires nice cars, but I don't know, there's just like a certain level of presentability that I would love to have that like it's bad for morale when you show up with a busted car. Like it just makes me feel like a garbage woman.
It's bad for morale. I went at my car like a year after the fact to try to touch it up because of that scrape. And I will say that the guy who parks behind me is like some sort of medical professional, this older Eastern European man. And he came down to the parking garage and he was like, what are you doing? Like, this is never going to work. And then he came back from the grocery store and he was like, are you a makeup artist? This looks beautiful. And I was like, I did it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he helped you, but then I was like, no.
No, we're not that close.
Oh my God, it was so nice. The guy I was hooking up with in LA, he taught me how to like fix scratches. Like I got the wax, I got the, what is it? It's like alcoholic. It's like pneumonia? Acetone, I think. Acetone, I'm pretty sure. I have it in my car now. But it was like, it was one of the nicest things ever. Like he was like, I'm fixing the scratches. Like one time in passing, I think he was probably getting in my car and I was like really self-conscious about it. So I was like, oh yeah, sorry, there's a tiny scratch, etc. And then he helped me fix it. The nicer thing was after the fact, like a year later, I hit him up and was like, hey, can you remind me what the name of this thing was? He sent me like a video, like detailing how to do a like step-by-step process. Shout out to this man. He is doing the Lord's work. I needed the help. And I think that's why I want to be, that's my being friends with exes. I think I've just had exes be very...
So that they can help you fix your car?
Yeah. Although it's a hookup, so it doesn't count as like an ex. But
I haven't touched a man in so long.
You were friendly, not friends.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
You reached out to him having not had any contact with him for a while.
But I think the big thing is that like life's too short. Like I think the big indictment on like being friends with an ex was like my friends would be like, bitch, text me back. No, but like, no, I'm agreeing with you though by saying like, you're right. There is a difference between being friendly and being a friend. And like, it is like the level of constant maintenance of a friendship where it would just be inappropriate for me to be friends with the ex because then my friends on the East Coast would be like, excuse me, ma'am, like, we know you're busy. Don't make time for this person. And I'd be like, you're so right.
There you go.
Wait, Allie, you said I haven't been touched by a man. I want to go back to that.
I said I haven't, I guess either way. It would be weird if it was only one way.
Yeah, like you were touching men, but you weren't good.
It's been a minute.
Now that you're back in Minnesota, are you on any kind of dating apps? Like how's the dating landscape looking so far?
The people are more attractive, but they don't send the first message. Like I have several matches on Hinge and they have not sent the first message.
Is that, and do they have to?
No, but I just like when they do. Also, I'm afraid to go on a date here and they're like, oh, like, where do you live? And I'll be like, my parents' basement.
I think COVID really did a great job of kind of destigmatizing living at home. Like,
but my parents also were saying, they were like, this is temporary. Like it's not like you're like, oh, I've been there for 5 years.
Is this sexist? I feel like the society judges women less than they judge men for living at home. Or do you feel differently?
I feel like either way, like I've been on dates with people who still live with their parents and have never not lived with their parents. And I wonder like how compatible we would be as partners, because I'm like, you don't do your own laundry. How would we build a life together?
Like, yeah, there's a certain kind of like personal ambition to living alone, like personal like drive for independence that if someone doesn't have it, it's not like necessarily bad. It's just like different.
Also, you have a story. Like I just moved back from LA. It's a little different. Like 3 years from now, a little tougher to explain that one. But I just moved back. I'm just like shacking up with my mom and dad for a period of time.
And it points to you being intentional because you're like, I didn't want to just like rush into signing any apartment building. Like I'm, like I have specific tastes and I wanted to make sure I found the right spot. Like you make your choices carefully. So I really don't think, Allie, everything about you screams, I have my shit together. Like, I really wouldn't worry about people going on a date and being like, I don't know, this girl.
I'm wearing a Juicy Couture sweatsuit that I got when I was 16. So
God bless.
Say la vie.
I did want to put out there that I feel like a lot of crazy shit happens at company holiday parties. I read some article weeks ago about how a Taco Bell employee was alleging that like the manager was having sex with his wife in front of everyone at the company Christmas party at that like franchise location. She was like, I feel really uncomfortable and I'm suing. And so maybe not to that extreme.
So she sued Taco Bell because she's got a horny manager?
Yeah. And I guess like, I guess everybody was really drunk. It seemed like one big HR nightmare. this Christmas
I'm not
party.
condoning fucking your wife in front of your employees. I'm just saying, why is she suing Taco Bell? That just seems like a money grab.
I think in the article it was talking about how like she reported it. They like fired him, but then someone like smashed her window or like there was like retaliation and she didn't feel safe.
They fired the manager.
After she reported it, but like they didn't protect her from all the retaliation. Like she came forward and was like, this was unacceptable. And they just like they fired him, but they didn't do anything else to make sure that like.
What were they supposed to do?
I think maybe respond when someone smashed her window.
How did they have proof that it was him?
Well, it was just like, I can't get into like the litigation of it all because I just don't know that much about it.
Are they supposed to like hire a security detail?
I think there's like ways that you can kind of like damages, you know, of like maybe.
I just don't want this woman coming between me and my tacos. And if she wins a big case against Taco Bell.
You think that Taco Bell's going to go. But this
I'm not one for frivolous lawsuits. I'm just not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
You
are?
Well, no, I like what got me through my legal studies major is I was like, one day I'm going to sue Uber for all the ways that they've wronged me. Uber Pool was a twisted product.
How have you been wronged by Uber Pool?
Okay.
Genuine question.
No.
Because like I've always had positive experiences with Uber Pool, but I started using Uber Pool before people caught on that it was like efficient.
Because sometimes it was a great deal because it was just like,
you don't pick anyone else up. It used to only be a great deal. I would just ride by myself. Every once in a while I would pick some up. No, and this was in like the height of Bachelor.
I got pissed because on multiple occasions, Uber Pool was, you know how they'll give you your ETA and then the latest possible arrival. On multiple occasions, I have been in Uber Pools that are so fucking delayed, like because they picked a bad route to start with and we've already picked up someone who it didn't make sense. We are already past the latest possible arrival time and they have gone out of the way to pick up another person. And I think legally you should not be allowed to use that kind of language and terminology if you are then going to have an algorithm that prioritizes making more money over that.
What language?
What?
What language?
Like the language of latest possible arrival time. I don't think you should be allowed to make that statement if you are going to then intentionally This is not like, oh, we had a ton of traffic and now it's later than that. This is them intentionally. We are already after the quote latest possible arrival time and they're intentionally prioritizing making more money over delivering on a so-called promise that they have.
And what would you sue for in this particular case? What do you think?
I'm big on consumer rights. Well, also their customer service bot. Like I've had to waste so much time with bots where they expect people to give up. And I don't tend to give up in these scenarios. Because it's like, I think there's a really big difference between being a Karen, which is a huge issue. Like I feel like being a Karen is when you're like taking out all of your frustrations, probably being unreasonable on an employee. Like that is so different than when you're like, I'm calling bullshit on this big, big company and I'm going to be polite to the people I'm talking to, but like unrelenting in my desire to have this escalated.
I'd rather have the solution be to because, Air Canada, obviously, I was frustrated.
Yes.
But I want the solution to the big bad corporations to be more competition within these businesses. I don't want it to be frivolous lawsuits.
I think in the rise of AI, I think there needs to be some kind of consumer protection of like when you have to take so much time out of your life. Like, for example, like when an airline loses your bag. Like, I'm not talking about stuff where it's kind of like there's both sides of the story about how like one person, the customer might feel wronged. The company might be like, nope, we were totally within our right. I'm talking about situations where they like blatantly do something that like causes you a huge inconvenience. And then in order to have it rectified, you have to waste so much of your time. Like, I think companies need to place some kind of consequence if you do not have available customer service.
Them caring about losing your business. That honestly really should be the only consequence. But I'm a capitalist. So.
I mean,
because the alternative is people, compensation, suing, the value of your time versus other people's time. Like that's messy. Just earn my business or pay the consequences of me having an option.
But
the problem
what about,
with the small business arena is harder and harder to exist.
But I think it's also about saying like even that one incident is unacceptable. Like have you ever had a kerfuffle with you've had a kerfuffle with an airline? Sometimes it's like you're talking about something that's like $1,000. Like I had a huge issue when I was supposed to be a bridesmaid at my best friend's wedding in Australia in June of 2020 or July of 2020. And United Airline wasn't canceling the flight even though it was illegal for non-nationals to enter the country. And it was just like, that was an example of a situation where it was a really big headache and like I had to either take a credit, like they were basically like trying to trick me into only taking flight credit and not refunding me for a flight that like, and it's a complicated situation. My point, I'm not saying that even though I do think I'm right and I wasn't doing anything crazy, like my point is just that like $1,000 incident, like people need to invest whatever time it takes to rectify that. And sometimes they will disrespect your time. They will make you wait on hold for 45 minutes only to put you on hold for another like 60.
Yeah. I mean,
and there just need to be some kind of boundaries about like the means of recourse consumers have to like.
Slippery slope. I don't know. Do we have a writer enter?
We sure do.
All right, let's get to it.
Sorry. I'm sorry to the people who did not want to come to this TED Talk. But I feel like maybe people will agree. Let me know. Okay. So the person who writes, "My name is Jay. I'm 34 years old. I've been listening to your podcast for a while, and I thought I just had to write in regarding an incident that happened this past weekend that I'm pretty upset about. This weekend, we had our gender reveal party for our second child. My partner and I were not married yet, but have been engaged for 3 years and together for almost 6. Due to babies, etc., we just never planned our wedding, and it wasn't on the top of our to-do list. We have always talked about doing a small wedding or something non-traditional, including just our family members and a few friends. So, long story short, we decided to turn our gender reveal party into a surprise wedding. Fun, right? It really was fun. Everyone was so surprised. We rented a bigger house for everyone to stay, and once everyone arrived, we made the announcement that we were going to be getting married. To top it all off, my father officiated the wedding, and everyone was even more surprised by that. All of that was great, but then, after a dress malfunction and finally tying the knot, the party per se got started. I am 4 months pregnant and obviously couldn't partake in drinking or anything, but had fun with the guests till a decent hour. I got everyone out that wasn't staying. My now husband and my brother decided to keep the party going in the basement of this place we were staying, which is fine for a little while, but then they were being so loud that my other son was sleeping and we had to tell him to shut it down at 1 a.m. He still didn't want to come and be with me on our wedding night, and then decided to leave the house with his brother to go off partying God knows where until 4 a.m. with no phone and no way to reach him. To say the least, I'm pissed about it. I think it's very upsetting that he decided to go on our wedding/gender reveal night, but to keep the peace and good memories of the day, I haven't, quote, gone off, end quote, on him about it. I told him that what he did was hurtful and for what reasons, and I hope he makes it up to me. To be honest, I don't think he will. It's been a couple days now, and he hasn't even given me an apology and doesn't think he did anything wrong. He said he was just celebrating and having fun, but not with me. I've told him now how I feel about it, and that now my memory of the night is kind of ruined. His response is defensive and rude, and I feel hurt. I don't want to keep dwelling on this, and I really hate having to tell him to do something like make it up to me when I think he should just be doing that on his own. Am I overreacting for being upset about this? Should I just let it go and hope that he makes it up to me in some way? It's been in the back of my mind since it happened, and it's just making me upset. But at the end of the day, what's done is done, right?
This is a mediation call. They need to both call in.
Please call in. Jay and partner, please call in.
This is a perfect mediation opportunity. Of course, she's not wrong for feeling this way. She has the right to feel however she wants. And I don't think she's handled it the best way with her husband in terms of getting what she wanted out of it. Because the language she uses, it's like she came up with certain expectations. You fucked up. She even used the language "make it up to me," so to speak, which I guess makes sense in theory. But like, what is the goal? As I always kind of ask, is the goal to just have your husband acknowledge that your feelings were hurt, and so that you feel like he now understands how he could have handled that situation better in the future. Whenever I experience conflict or in a relationship, to me, the only thing that really matters is, can we both come to a common understanding of how we both could have done things differently in that conflict? And then how do we avoid it in the future? I don't usually do it for like, explain to you why you owe me. I just don't think relationships do well when you start tracking IOUs. And maybe, she didn't mean it that way, but also maybe she did. But, she said, he's just getting defensive. Well, he gets defensive because you said you ruined, my memory of our wedding is ruined. Now, how could he not get defensive about that? right? Because you just say you hurt my feelings. I was a little upset by how you handled it. No, you said you ruined the memory of our wedding, which can't get that back. So he's going to feel defensive about it. And, once you trigger your partner who's now defensive, they're no longer thinking about how to resolve your frustrations. They're just thinking about how to defend themselves.
Well, okay. So Jay writes, I told him what he did was so hurtful and for what reasons. And I hope he makes it up to me. To be honest, I don't think he will. It's been a couple days now and he hasn't even given me an apology and doesn't think he did anything wrong.
So that part of not getting the apology and not thinking he did anything wrong, I don't know if that's the case, but my guess is, and I wasn't there, but my guess is the way she communicated her frustration, probably she sprinkled in various words and phrases that triggered him and made him defensive. And instead of focusing on resolving her frustrations and pain, he was focused on defending himself. Most importantly, the accusation that he ruined the memory of their wedding night. You get what I'm saying? So right now they are almost fighting two different battles and they have two different expectations and they're not on the same page, and I just think, we need them both here, so to speak, but my short advice is that you just got to, when you're in a fight like this, you got to be careful of the accusations you put out there. And you also have to always ask yourself, what's your goal of this? And how can he really make it up to you? What does that look like? Are you talking jewelry? Are you talking quality time? Are you, and then maybe say something like, it's okay, babe. But can we maybe have a night where we really celebrate, us getting married and have a moment, because I really wanted that with you and I didn't, get it, is a lot different than you ruined this. And when you tell someone that they ruined something, especially a night that you literally can't get back, it's going to make them very defensive, And that doesn't mean you don't have the right to get upset. It just comes down to how you communicate your frustrations.
Yeah, I almost wonder though, because I feel like so often in conversations about conflict, sometimes people will try to communicate how they feel and then feel like someone's writing it off, not taking it seriously. So then they escalate it to, maybe what do you think if, let's say she came in with the approach of, hey, can I just talk to you about something? I don't want to have any lingering resentment, but it just it hurt my feelings a tiny bit that you went out with your brother until 4 a.m. on our wedding night. I was just really looking forward for the time with you. And if he's whatever, it's not a big deal, or tries to change the subject and dismisses her a bunch of times, that's how sometimes I think in these situations it can escalate to the,
totally.
Well, you ruined our wedding night. That's why I'm bringing it up.
But that's assuming that's how it started. I don't know how it all started, but usually the accusations are usually sprinkled in with the intro, it really hurt my feelings. You basically ruined our wedding night. How could you? Usually that's how things like that get brought up or addressed.
Do you have advice for people where it is kind of the scenario of when you don't make a big deal out of it, they don't respond, or they try to dismiss it?
It's not about not making a big deal about it. Again, you can, and by making a big deal, address it. If it's a big deal to you, address it. How you address it, making a big deal isn't as she almost alluded to, losing her shit or going nuclear or, you know what I'm saying? Freaking out. That's never going to help the situation. You can do it if you just want to vent, but acknowledging something that you're very frustrated about and making excuses for your partner and not dismissing it and not just letting it go. You have the right to bring it up. If it bothered you and it is your wedding night, you have the right to be frustrated. All that really matters is, how do you avoid this from happening in the future? How do you get on the same page so you feel like he now understands how you felt in that situation? And hopefully he gives a shit, because you're his wife and you're his husband. And so he should want to consider your feelings, because that's ultimately what happened. He didn't consider her feelings on their wedding night. And that mattered to her. And how did she get him to consider his feelings in the future? You ruined my wedding night isn't the way to do it, is all I'm saying. So, but I'd love to talk to you both. Let's get on a mediation call. Convince him to come on. Yeah.
I sent Jay an email, so we'll see.
Nick is dying to talk to you both. Yeah, because the only way we really get to the bottom of this is having them both on. And I think this is a great potential mediation call. Obviously, something meaningful, something important. It needs to be resolved. It hasn't gotten resolved. And until it gets resolved, she's going to held on to this resentment, which isn't good for him. So it's in his best interest to come on. So, or else. Yeah. Anyway, we got a great episode for you. Don't forget to send in those questions at asknick@theviallfiles.com for all things mediation, texting office hours, sweating the wedding, and just your general Ask Nick episodes, whether it's Christmas drama, New Year's drama, whatever, family drama, relationship drama. We love it all. And don't forget that last Friday we dropped an update special on Viall Files Plus. So for all you people thirsting for more updates from all of our callers, you know where to find them. It's on Viall Files Plus. Free to sign up. Just go to viallfiles.com. Do not miss it. I think we're closing in on 20 different episodes of updates that you have missed out on if you haven't signed up yet. So please check it out. It's a 7-day free trial. Let's get to our callers.
Question time with Nick. Let's ask Nick your sexy questions.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's your name?
My name's Ronnie. I am 30.
How can we help, Ronnie?
My husband would rather spend time with deer than me.
Okay. Deer the animal, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Tell us more.
So, we've been married for 2 years together, almost 9 years. He's a huge hunter and fisherman.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like the whole year is consumed with hunting season from like September till January, then ice fishing, then turkey season, and then regular fishing. And I just feel like there's like no time for us. It's kind of been a build-up over the years.
Okay. How have you addressed this with him?
So I've tried to bring it up. And I just want to say, like, I want to be like supportive of his hobbies. Like, I think it's important to have hobbies and individuality. I just feel like he's willing to go and spend 2 weeks hunting, but won't take time off for work to go on like a trip with me. So I've tried to say that, but I don't know. I'm just not having very much luck.
How have you tried to say that? Let's role play. I'm your husband.
Okay. Sometimes he doesn't like if I just like will spring something on him like right after the work day. So I'll like text him like, hey, can we like check in this weekend or something? And he's like, yeah. And I'll sit down and I'll try to kind of say it's really important to me that we like spend more time together. Like I really miss you. I feel like we're disconnected. And he kind of just, I don't know, will say like, please give me a break. Like, hunting season's important. I don't know. I just feel like we're kind of.
Is he a professional of any kind? What's he do for work?
He works for a cabinet company, so he's a carpenter.
All right. So hunting, while fun for him, doesn't keep the lights on, so to speak.
Yeah.
It is, in fact, a hobby of his. Have you ever asked him if hunting was more important than you?
Yeah. A long time ago, like I said, even before we were married, like, if you had to choose, would you choose like hunting over me? Which maybe it was an unfair question. I don't know. But
not unfair.
He couldn't really answer it. I honestly feel like he would choose hunting. I don't know.
I'm sorry you feel that way, but it is how you feel, and you shouldn't ignore that. Clearly, you've mentioned this. You've brought this up. You brought it up before you got married. But how aware of your unhappiness do you think he is?
I would say he's pretty aware. Like, I mean, from my perspective, I'm the only one that ever will really bring up, like, if I feel like we have an issue or something. Like, I'll admit I'm not the best, like, communicator. I kind of, like, fear conflict, but I'll try to bring it up with him. Like, this isn't making me happy. Like, how can we fix this? And I don't know. I don't think maybe I'm not saying it correctly. I don't know.
Well, I'm not there, but
yeah.
If you're saying any version of what you're saying to us, you're clearly communicating that you're frustrated. It sounds like he's just kind of choosing not to care, essentially. Listen, I mean, in even the best relationships, like, you know, it can feel like our partners are nagging us, you know? Even at times where I feel like I give a lot of attention to Natalie, and we spend a lot of time together, and she's a huge part of my life. But because I'm also super busy and I'm also can be very much in my head, you know, I can be working when I'm not working. Like I'm usually just always thinking about work. So I have this really bad habit and great skill to make someone feel alone even when I'm in their presence. You know, so at times I have to be mindful of that and work on that in my relationship. However, at times I can just feel like Natalie's nagging at me when, you know, when she's asking, you know, checking in or whatever. Sometimes I feel like, you know, she's reaching out to me, but sometimes I feel like she's doing it just to bug me, or, you know, those little things in relationships where you're just like, are you just trying to piss me off, or are you actually asking something of me? You know what I'm saying? And so I think every relationship deals with that. But at the same time, it sounds like you've made several attempts, whether you were incredibly articulate and you really express your emotions, but it sounds like if you said what you said to anyone who gave a shit, they would understand you're frustrated. And like you said, when I asked you how aware of your frustrations do you think he is, it sounds like you think he's pretty aware, regardless of how well you communicated with it. If I were to talk to him, it's like, how much does your hunting piss off your wife? He'd probably be like, oh my God, like a lot. So when hunting season's going on, like, is it like an every weekend thing? That's what he's doing?
Yes, every weekend. I think I've seen him twice in the past like 2 months. I went to
what do you mean by like,
yeah.
Literally?
Yeah, literally twice.
When you say twice, like for 2 weeks, 2 days, 2 hours, twice what? 2 days?
Like 2 days.
You've seen him for 2 days in the past 2 months.
Yes.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I know. So
I'm so sorry.
I think like part of my problem that I think that I could work on is I work 2 jobs. So I'm usually working from like 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. at night. And then he's hunting every weekend. So he usually will say, when I bring this up, like, well, if you didn't work 2 jobs, then we would spend more time together. But this has only been...
Okay. And why do you work 2 jobs?
So I've been like trying to pay off my student loans and just like saving up to buy a new house. So I feel like I'm trying to like contribute.
A house that you two will live in.
Yes.
And because you're married, you guys, I don't know how you do your finances, but you're married. So they're all kind of the same. I don't know what state you live in. I know certain states have different rules and whatever, but you didn't sign a prenup, did you?
No.
Yeah. So be like, all right, I won't work. We'll just have less money. Great.
I know. And so like sometimes like during arguments, like in the past, he had said, well, I'm just busy trying to like provide for us and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, because at the time I was probably maybe contributing 1/3 of like the mortgage. So now I'm working 2 jobs and contributing half. And then he gets mad that I'm working 2 jobs. I don't know.
Well, I'm getting the sense it really has nothing to do with your contribution and has to do with him not wanting to give up his hobbies for you. That won't matter. Like, it'll just be a new argument every time. The fact that he hunts every weekend is absurd. There's no like, that's it. Now, you can choose to accept his absurdity. By definition, it's extreme. And listen, you know, Tom Brady is an extreme guy. And there's a reason why many consider him to be the greatest quarterback of all time, because he has a singular focus. He's obsessive. It has affected his personal life. He's making a choice. Now, again, your husband, I don't know what his goals are when it comes to hunting, but he is extreme when it comes to hunting. He needs to recognize that. And like, you need to recognize and ask yourself, this isn't a marriage. Like, you've seen your husband twice in 2 months. So something needs to change, because you can't keep doing this, right? I don't think so. And you're only 30. You're beautiful. You got a lot going for you. You certainly can provide for yourself. You got 2 fucking jobs.
Yeah, you have this amazing work ethic. You have the willingness to listen to a partner when they say, I'm worried about money. And you say, okay, I'm going to take action. Yeah. Like, that's an awesome quality. Like, he's lucky.
Yeah. And like, I bet you would, like, if he hunted every other weekend, I'd still think that's extreme. And yet, you'd probably be thrilled if every other weekend you got to spend time with your husband.
Yeah.
Hell, you'd be happy with once a month you get a weekend. And that's nuts. You know?
Yeah. I told him, I was like, if we could just have like 1 week a year where we go on a vacation, like I would be happy. But he won't take like time off for work because he saves it all for like hunting and ice fishing trips. And
I'm guessing all the money he spends on this hobby, he doesn't run by you. He just kind of does whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, no. And it's expensive. Like he'll apply for like an elk tag in Idaho. That's like $1,000. All the hunting equipment and that doesn't really bother me. I just wish that he could maybe like go on a trip with me every once in a while. Or
I mean, eventually you're just gonna cheat on this guy.
No, I would never do that.
I mean, I'm glad, but like, have you thought of leaving him? I hate that we're going. I mean, this is extreme. I don't know what else to say. And you're telling me that your husband hunts every weekend and doesn't sound remotely interested in making time for his wife. You know, I'm obsessed with football, and you know, football season is, you know, once a year. I only get to watch NFL football from September to the end of January. I love it. It's great. And if I were a single guy, every Sunday I'd wake up and I'd turn on TV as soon as I wake up, and I'd listen to football podcasts. I'd watch football pregame shows. I'd watch my Packers, and then I would turn on all the games, and I'd have these quads, and like sometimes I get to do that. But now, you know, I get to watch the Packer game. You know, that's my. I will say I'm a diehard Packer fan, and like if I've ever been in a relationship, it's like
that's a non-negotiable.
Kinda, you know, it's like if you want me to be happy, let me do this. But all day, every day, like, oh, I can just check out like football season, and like I have Saturday. I'm preparing for like, holy shit. Like, that's nuts, you know? But I want to be in a relationship, and I want to, you know, I want to make my partner happy, and I want to do things for her, and I want to feel connected to her, and I want to have he doesn't have I don't know why he's married. Certainly not to have a relationship.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you guys talked about kids?
Yes. That was another thing I was going to bring up. Like since February, he's been pushing for kids.
Oh my God.
What?
Yes.
Oh my God. Absolutely not.
I'm just like, I can't make that next step. Like, I feel like we're on totally separate pages. Like, I feel like so alone, even though I've been in this relationship for like almost a decade. And it was like a hard no. I want kids. I just like, I don't want to have kids if I'm in a relationship like this. And I don't know. I don't think he understands. I've like asked if he'd go to like couples counseling. That's a hard no from him. I don't really know what else to try.
You mean, listen, you're in an extreme situation. So you're going to have to kind of be extreme yourself, because clearly you've tried to handle this extreme situation with, you know, calmness and just negotiate and just reasonableness. You know, like, hey, I'm just trying to be reasonable. I'll take a little bit. I'll take the bare minimum. But clearly that hasn't worked. And right now, you must feel very powerless, you know, calls all the shots. He's just like, hey, I'm going to hunt. Fuck you. I don't care. I'm just going to do this. And you've accepted this for, I guess, much of your relationship. You have allowed him to maintain this power, but it's time for you to take your power back. Now, to do that, you know, you might have to make choices that you, on surface level, don't want to make. I don't think you got into this marriage or this relationship so that you could get divorced, but no one does. But something needs to wake this guy up, you know? And you taking your power back it starts by, you know, I'm glad you said no to the whole kids conversation, but I think you need to sit him down and just say, your next conversation with him isn't about, you know, pleading with him and like trying to negotiate how to get time with him. You know, the next conversation you have with him is sitting him down and just telling him how you feel. And you're going to have to practice this. As someone who's, you know, more demure and more, you know, mild-mannered, you're going to have to practice this, and you're going to have to get fucking fired up. Maybe practice with some friends, get a little gas. Find that anger, because somewhere deep down, you must be angry. And I need you to find that anger. And you just tell him, I'm not happy. I'm lonely. I don't feel like I'm in a marriage. I don't feel like I'm anywhere in the ballpark of list of your priorities. It's hunting, it's fishing, and then that's your next 10 priorities. Your buddies, I don't know. I don't even know who you're friends with because I never see you, but like you clearly have hunting friends. They must know way more about you than I do. And this isn't how I want to live the rest of my life. I have way too much going for me. I'm too good looking and I'm too ambitious and I'm too smart and I'm too successful to waste my time on someone who doesn't want to spend any time with me. And any attempt that I make at trying to fix our relationship, you shoot down immediately. You don't even give me, and I'm done. I'm not interested. And honestly, if you're not interested in either going to couples therapy or start giving up some of your weekends, you can't go on hunting weekends every weekend anymore. I want half, at least. I think it's going to take that. He needs to realize that you're done, that you're no longer going to put up with this. Because right now, this motherfucker thought he could just be an absent husband, hunt all the time, not see his wife. And he had the nerve to come home one day and go, I think you should have my child. So I can leave you with my child, our child, and be an absent father. And I'm guessing he probably wants a son so he can teach him how to hunt, but maybe he'll do that with his daughter.
Probably.
And basically when your kid's old enough to hunt, he's going to steal your kid every weekend. Like, why the fuck would you want to have a kid with this guy? And this is literally what you need to say to him. Talk to him like, he's your girlfriend's husband. And she's giving you free reign to speak your mind because you are tired of how your girlfriend's husband treats your friend. And you're tired of seeing her sad and miserable and lonely.
Yeah, I'll have to practice that.
Do you want to do a first draft now?
Maybe.
But seriously, like I can't tell you to leave him and I can't tell you to get divorced, but like you do see your future, right?
Yeah, I think so. He was just recently in Nebraska for like 16 days and just got back on Sunday. And I was just like I took my wedding ring off and I was just like listening to like the Kelsey Ballerini like divorce like playlist. And I was just like, I just can't do this anymore. I don't know. I feel like I don't know, like he takes advantage of how nice I am, but I think that's also my own fault. I need to be more assertive.
Yeah. Like, listen, if you were to leave this relationship, you have some work to do on yourself. You do. Yeah. Are you in therapy of any kind right now?
I started in the summer.
Good for you.
It wasn't really a good fit. So I'm kind of trying to find a therapist that
take your time. You'll know when you find it.
Yeah.
But you need to work on that because your next relationship, chances are you might attract a certain kind of guy.
Hopefully not a hunter.
Well, it doesn't matter. It could be into cars, a guy who you have been willing to shut up with him at times. And he's really appreciated that about you. And it's time for you to stop shutting up. And it's time for you to speak up about the things that you don't like when you feel like you're being mistreated. And it's time for you to always communicate how you feel when you feel it and not bottle it up inside and not feel like, well, I don't want to be a bother. And it's one thing to be a supportive partner, but it's another thing to be supportive when you're not getting any support yourself. Like you're doing your part, he's not doing his. And you need to get better at recognizing when the people you're investing in aren't doing their part and not make excuses for them.
Yeah. I've spent almost, like I said, a decade in this relationship. It's hard to just, I don't know, decide when it's time to walk away or like I need to fight more. I'm just kind of torn.
You do not need to fight more. What's to fight for what? Well, by the way, when he came home and you didn't have your wedding ring on, what did he notice?
No. Well, he doesn't even wear his, so I don't think he would notice.
What do you mean he doesn't wear his? Why? Why doesn't he wear his wedding ring?
He doesn't wear it, well, for work, like since he does carpentry,
Okay.
like that makes sense. But other than that, I don't know. Sometimes he'll put it on if we go to a wedding or something, but he forgets to wear it. I've told him it bothers me, but I don't know.
This guy does not give a shit about what you think or feel.
Yeah.
That's evident. What is there to fight for? What?
It's so hard. I love his entire family and like
Sure. Yeah.
I'm so close with like his sister and all of his cousins and his parents.
Have you talked to his sister about this?
I mean, she kind of talks to me about like her own husband and her frustrations with his hunting. I don't know if this is like a Minnesota thing or it's just like everyone I talk to is mad about their husband hunting, but that's probably just the group I'm in.
Yeah, probably. I mean, you're only 30 years old, and right now you're only in this relationship because you've been in it for 10 years and you like his family.
Yeah, when you put it like that.
You're miserable. And you have every right to be miserable. But you got to stop being a martyr in your own life. You know, and there's no one, I don't know what your religion are. And if you're Catholic, you're raised to be a martyr.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So, well, that's something to honestly consider. As a raised Catholic, I empathize with you. The whole kind of martyr kind of mentality of suffering your way to heaven. And I don't know, maybe that's how we're going to get to that special place. But I don't think even if that is true, I don't think that's what God had in mind. You should just be fucking miserable in your marriage and be some sort of like fucking servant, whatever fucking guy. I don't know. But you're super young, you're beautiful, you have your whole life in front of you. And there are plenty of guys out there who wouldn't do this.
Yeah, it's hard.
What's hard?
I think just like having that conversation or just the walking away. I've thought about it.
It's not hard. It's scary. And I understand that it's scary. You know, I've talked about this before. You know, I used to live in Milwaukee, right? Lived there my whole life, 30 some years, you know, thought about moving all the time. Seemed hard. Oh, moving to Chicago, moving to New York. Oh my God. Can I do that? That's like, seems like such a big move. Turned out it was really easy. I just had to do it. You know, I was just scared of it. I was scared of all the things that I didn't know that I worried about. It was the unknown. I'm like, well, how am I going to do that? How am I going to make it work? Am I going to make friends? Yada, yada. I thought of all the things that I could be scared about. And then there's a difference between, things that are difficult and things that are scary. And we often confuse the two, and we call it hard to justify why we don't want to take action in our lives, and rather just face our fears and, find out. Because usually it's more scary than it is hard. Because hard you can figure out. It's hard working 2 jobs. It's really hard being alone in a marriage. That's hard. You're doing hard already. I don't know what's going to be so hard about getting a divorce. Well, you'll still be alone at first. No change.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. And the only thing that's going to change is eventually you'll date, you'll meet some people. I don't know. Even you'll probably have fun on bad dates because at least you're sitting across the table from somebody.
At least talking.
I mean,
Yeah, who's choosing to be with you and not a deer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, what is the point?
I know. I just part of it is like, is this my fault? Like, I've just for so long, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, what could I do better?
You clearly have played a role in you allowing your husband to maintain all this control, empowering your relationship. You have certainly made some attempts. At some point, you just have to stop accepting that he is unwilling to budge and call his bluff. That, fine, you are unwilling to be the husband I need, then I don't want to be your wife. It's that simple. To death do us part, my fucking ass. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not going to be in a marriage by myself. I know. Like,
the biggest thing that's stressed me out recently is just thinking of okay, if we did separate, who's going to take our cats? Which sounds so silly.
I get it.
So you take the cats. He's not there.
Yeah.
I know. I'm they're my cats. I'm going to take them.
Yeah. I mean, if you do leave them one day, I do think you just leave. In fact, if I were you, I would just move out, take the cats, and be like, I need some space from you. He's going to, I don't see you, but you need to start making some drastic moves here. He needs to believe that you're done. You're gone. He needs to notice too. So clear, you took off your wedding ring and he didn't notice. That's a problem. So when he comes back next time from his trip, you need to not be there. Or change the locks. I don't care. Do something crazy. I'm leaving you. Don't come home.
Thought, like, yeah, if I just left and he came back from one of his hunting trips, like, what would he say?
I don't know.
I think then he would maybe care. I don't know.
Don't you think you deserve more? I mean, you clearly do. It's supposed to be a rhetorical question, but like, when are you going to get mad?
I know I do. I do get mad sometimes. I just, like, he'll tell me, like, why do you have to be so negative, or just give me a break? And then
break
I just
about
feel
what?
so
He's
annoying.
never there. He sounds like a guy where it's just like, you know, again, back to my football analogy. If like I was super busy and I'm just like, can I just watch one game this week? Just one game. Give me 3 hours this week. You can have, and then like Natalie was like, no. And then come on, can you just give me a break? I just want to watch one game. I want to decompress. Can I have 3 hours to decompress? And he's acting like he's begging for 3 hours of like alone time. When in reality, he leaves for weeks. He leaves every weekend. What does giving him a break look like in his world?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Don't let him infiltrate your own opinion of yourself. Like, he has not earned a seat at the table. Maybe there was a point in time in the relationship where he really knew you. He cared for you. He had positive, constructive things to say. He doesn't anymore. How can he know you? He's not spending any time with you. And like, you know, I feel like it really scares me to think about being beholden to the ideas and opinions of people who I fundamentally like disagree with the way they treat others. You know, it's like, he has not earned the right to have his opinion matter. And so you will be so much more powerful like the second you can stop letting him in, like, you know, make you feel guilty or make you worry that you're being naggy, because you're not.
Yeah, I don't know why he would want to have kids with me if he doesn't even want to spend time with me.
Because he wants to have kids. He doesn't want to be a husband. Yeah. And you're literally, in his mind, a vessel to have children, to raise his kids while he hunts, and literally kidnap them so he can hunt with them at the appropriate age. Stop making it your problem. I know I know divorce is hard and emotional and costly and difficult, but it can't be harder than what you're dealing with right now. And you're too young, but not that young, where you don't have time to waste. And you've already given him a decade of your life, and you've been super patient, and you've tried. This is who he's decided to be. And if you want to move out and make him really believe that you want a divorce, and if he drastically changes, but like short of him being willing to go to couples therapy and immediately give you half of those weekends, I wouldn't even consider it. He doesn't get to win you back by making you feel bad for wanting his time, because that's what he does now. He just, I don't know, and I hate to use the word gaslights you, because it's not really gaslighting, but he victimizes himself and, you know, makes you feel like you're the wrong one for wanting any time and attention and love and that's crazy. And I'm speaking to you this way because I want to get you activated. You know, I want you to fucking get fired up. I want you to be mad. I want you to stop saying things like, well, maybe I should be more understanding, or maybe there's more I could do. Maybe I could be a little more patient. No, I want you to get off this call and be like, what was I doing? This is insane.
Well, like, it sounds insane to me. Like, I'll get so mad, and then I'm like, is it just me? That's why I wanted to call today. I was like,
it's not.
Okay, I want someone else to hear this.
And
that's not my mom or a friend.
Yeah, everyone deserves to find love and happiness, but like, you're a beautiful woman, you know, and like, you're not, like, whatever fears you have about meeting someone else, like, I think you're going to be fine, you know, like, you know, regardless of how, but you got 2 jobs, you got your health, you got your looks, like, you're going to be a hot commodity. And I know it might not feel that way, but I'm just trying to gas you up here. I want you to feel confident. I want you to feel good. I want you to see what Amanda and I are seeing, that, you know, your biggest mistake is that you're nuts for staying in it this long. And again, I understand why. I'm not trying to be mean, but like, I'm trying to rattle your cages here, because I want you to just be fed up. There's nothing left to consider.
Yeah. I probably should have known this even before I got married. It was kind of always an issue.
Sure.
But I don't know. I ignored it. I hoped it would change. I know you're not supposed to rely on hope.
No, but like, listen, you're still young enough that you can learn tough lessons and have it make a difference in your life.
And I feel like a huge priority of yours is like hopefully rebuilding your self-esteem, because it would make me feel like such shit. Like the rejection of like my husband not spending time with me, like that would just like break me down. And to have that exist in so many different ways and to question myself and to wonder like why this is happening and why the person who's supposed to love me can't even spend more than 2 days with me, like that would really, really like, that would break my heart slowly and painfully. It's like awful. And so what I want for you so dearly is for you to reclaim a sense of self-esteem so that way you know there is zero fucking chance that you deserve this and that you are 1,000% worthy of better. You are.
Thank you.
And I get that it's so scary. It's so, it's easy to sit on the other side of the table and say like, get the hell out. And I get, the Christmases you spend together, the family, like all those things. I understand that it's so real, but it's like, it goes back to what Nick said. It's not hard. It's scary. And like, I think being brave and showing up for yourself in that way is a great first step in developing self-esteem.
Yeah. Maybe I can move out of Minnesota because I don't want to live here.
Yes.
Even better.
Yeah.
God, I would take, you know what I would do if I were you? I would go back and reflect on all of your hopes and dreams that you've been ignoring for the past decade because you've been prioritizing this marriage and him all by yourself. And maybe for the next year, you just kind of let loose, go have some fun.
Yeah. I forgot what that feels like.
I mean, you can start now. Now's as good time as any.
But it's
What's he doing right now? Where is he in this moment?
He is at work right now. I tried to get him to do a mediation call, but that was a hard no.
Well,
you have some hard no's now.
What if
Yeah.
What if we text him right now and said you wanted a divorce?
Oh my God.
I mean, I know that's crazy, but like, is it?
I know. I don't even know what he would say.
I mean, who cares?
I mean, he was kind of mad I was going on the podcast, but
Oh, he's gonna
whatever.
love. I can't wait till he listens to this episode.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He knows that you're going on the podcast. I love that.
I told him,
I
yeah.
love that. Hey, if you're listening, what the fuck, dude? I just want to know what I would love to know what his version of this story is.
I know. That's why I wanted him to be on so like he could tell his side too. So it's not just me saying it. But
Like,
I
have
really
a
don't
hobby.
think it's that different.
I mean, also, like, if he wants to be an active father, what's he going to do when his kids are playing sports and maybe they don't want to hunt? You know, what
Yeah,
happens,
exactly.
you know, if he has 3 girls who have no interest in hunting whatsoever, but they want dad to show up at ballet or soccer.
What happens when your baby has a 103-degree fever that week before, like the week he's supposed to go on a big hunting trip?
Yeah, he always said like you can't ever have a baby like during hunting season. So we're supposed to plan it around.
Oh my God. I'm about to hunt this man. I am about to hunt him down
You know
and
what?
yell at him.
But you know what? Honestly, though, let him be whoever the fuck he wants. This isn't your fault, but it is at this point, maybe going forward, your fault. You know, this is who he is, man. This is a radical motherfucker who loves to hunt, and you're not going to convince him to love it less or be less radical. And I just don't see a world where this guy goes from being this extreme to being the husband that you deserve. You know, that would be a literal miracle. He needs a wake-up call or find someone who, I don't know, like I don't know what, like who out there would marry him, but I don't know.
I don't know. He always tells me that he's not as bad as his friends. And so
I don't care.
It makes me, yeah.
How is that even possible?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who gives a shit? Great. Your friends are bad husbands too. Congratulations. You know? It's like I didn't murder 4 people. I only murdered 2 people.
I know.
I mean, I don't know. Why can't we just text them and say, I think I need some space from you. I don't think you should come home tonight. I mean, I don't want you to do anything. I just...
Yeah,
I
I know.
mean,
it's like
you're never going to be ready, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I took the night off of my other job. So I'll see him tonight. So I don't know if I should like talk to him when he gets home or...
I mean, if you're asking me, I just think there is no better time than now to let him know that you no longer deserve to be treated this way. And I just don't see a world where this guy, based on what you're telling me, is going to change. Because like he's so radical that honestly, even if he were to give up all like half the weekends that he now wants to hunt, do we really expect him to like be enjoyable to be around or make you feel like he's even happy to be there? I doubt it.
No, because then he complains the whole time.
Yeah. So I just, what is the point? I almost feel like you should say to him, it's like, why are we, like, what's the point? Like, I don't, like, this is stupid. This is stupid.
I've thought about like saying like, why are you even married to me? Do you even want to be with me?
Yeah, I no, I get that, but I really just want you to talk to him in a way that is less demure and less like you're the victim. I need you to finally stand up for yourself and stand up to him and say, this is stupid. I am tired of wasting my time. I finally woke up and I just don't deserve this. And like, listen, you're obsessed with hunting. It's your first, second, and 50th priority. And I just realized there's not in a world where you have any interest in giving me what I deserve. And so I just think we shouldn't be married anymore, because I could ask you to give up all these weekends because I want to spend time with you. And I do love you and I wish you wanted to spend as much time with me as I want with you, but you don't. And I'm not going to sit here and beg, and I'm not going to like make you hang out with me, and I'm not going to make you spend time with me. And I'm certainly not going to feel guilty for wanting someone to spend time with me. And then when you do spend time with me, make me feel guilty because you're not hunting. Like, this is stupid. Let's just like stop wasting each other's time. You go hunting. I'm just going to move on. Let's get divorced and, cut our losses, because I deserve to do so much more with my life than just be your fucking housewife.
Yeah, maybe I'll say that tonight. I'll try.
You can do it.
You can. You have to tell yourself you're going to do it. Because I know it's like scary, and I know from like a rational standpoint, you're like, this feels really big. I've never talked to him like this before. You have to go into the mindset of like, I'm doing this. Today's the day. It's happening. And
also, if you have a hard time speaking, you can text this. You can, honestly, just get it out,
Yeah.
I know. I've tried, I think like texting or like I've wrote letters before. I'm better about like expressing myself.
Well, he's not going to read a whole letter.
No, he'll probably throw it away. So.
Yeah. So I really think I want a divorce via text will be super effective.
I think you should say, so that way at least the conversation, like he goes in knowing that it's not like if it escalates, these are the stakes.
And you're going to be so fine. You've got 2 jobs. You're not going to be any more lonely. You're going to be literally less lonely.
And don't let yourself think about the what ifs. You said you wanted to live somewhere else. Like, don't let yourself stay in this situation and always wonder what would have happened if you'd like stepped up for yourself and like pursued the things that you genuinely want.
I know change is always going to be scary. That's inevitable, but it's not hard because, like, again, what you're doing is so hard, and you are in this very unique position that any amount of change is going to be better. It just is, because what you have now is you're a prisoner in your own home. You're not allowed to connect with people. You're not allowed to go out. You're not allowed to like be romanced. You're not allowed to do anything because you're married, because obviously you want to be a faithful wife. But at the same time, he won't give that into you. So you're literally a prisoner. Set yourself free. Like you will only, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like you're only going to feel good. I'm trying to see what negatives are from leaving this relationship. And maybe he'll surprise me. Maybe him actually realizing that you're done, he will do a 180. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Well, he's going to have to do something, because otherwise he's going to just be fucking old and lonely because he's going to be too busy hunting. How is he going to date? He's not going to find like, I don't know. I don't know if the woods in Idaho has a lot of like action,
I know.
The guy says he's going to go to strip clubs. That's all he's going to do.
Yeah. It just makes me so sad. I just, to like have a husband who like never tells you like, oh, you look nice today. Or I don't know.
Yeah,
just,
it is
like,
sad, but
little
stop,
things.
but stop it. You got to start taking control of your situation. And that's where your responsibility in this role comes in, is that you do have a choice. You do have power to exercise. You're just not doing it. You're just sitting around waiting for something to change. And clearly it's not going to. You've tried to communicate with him. He has shot you down at every turn. It almost sounds like you're lying to us. It's so outrageous and so crazy.
I swear I'm not.
No, I know, I'm kidding. But like, it's nuts. And you should get your marriage annulled. Like, the priest will be like, well, I don't know. I've literally never seen him. He's been hunting. I mean, you probably won't be able to get annulled.
Well, we didn't get married in the Catholic Church, so I don't think it has to be annulled. Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Are you going to send the text?
Can you send a text? Can you do it?
Okay.
Now, I want you to feel
Does
good
it
about
have to
this.
say I want a divorce?
I
or
mean,
can
I'm not
it
going to
say,
tell
like-
you to say that, but he needs to. You need to start the ball rolling. Of your new life starts now.
Yeah.
What
So, like-
what's the alternative to I want a divorce?
I don't know. Like I want a separation. I'm not sure.
You can always not get divorced.
Yeah, because
Okay.
you're not saying
you want to separate and what? You're already separated. You never see him.
I know. I guess we live in the same house, but we need a divorce.
I want
Is that
a
what I should
divorce.
say?
I want
a divorce.
divorce. We can talk when you're home, but I'm no longer willing to live my life alone.
Yes.
Okay.
Active situation of all active situations.
For real.
So I want a divorce. I'm no longer willing to live my life alone. Is that
Yeah.
what you said?
Yeah. I think maybe the line of we can talk about this when you get home in between those two sentences if you want.
But again, I just want to be clear. You don't need him
Yeah.
to get a divorce. You don't need his permission. You don't need to have a
Yeah.
conversation with him. If you want to, you're willing to talk to him, that's up to you, but you don't need him. So if he decides to ignore you or not take you seriously, you don't need his permission to get divorced. Take control of your life.
Yeah. I feel like he'll be so mad when he comes home.
Great. Well, that's a start. Honestly, that's honestly better than him not giving a shit.
Yeah. Because I had told him I wanted to talk to him tonight. And he was like, well, if you're not crabby, whatever that means.
Yeah, he's just a dick.
Oh my God.
And don't let him blame me for saying you want a divorce.
He for sure will. He'll be like, oh, you went on that stupid podcast. Now
Yeah.
you want a divorce.
I'm activated for you. Like I want like
Yeah.
this is nuts. This is just nuts. Maybe, do you have a friend's house you can go to tonight? Maybe just not be there.
Yeah, I do.
I think after you send this text your friends, update them, say, I just sent this message. Like, so that way they can like check in on you. They can make sure that you're following through and that it's like you don't get steamrolled in this conversation.
Yeah, it's just so yeah, like with just
This isn't a
it's technically-
negotiation.
Yeah, his house, so it's like I would have to leave.
Eh,
I guess it's our house, but technically his house.
you're married.
Yeah.
Okay? You have rights. Exercise those rights. In fact, if you don't want, like, the only reason not to send this text message right now is because you should go see a lawyer first.
I know.
But also, you can get the ball rolling. But maybe, like, look up a lawyer.
Yeah. Maybe send this text to him, text your friends immediately, and then look up
A divorce lawyer.
a divorce lawyer.
And once you start, it's like moving to Chicago. Once you get the ball rolling, you realize, oh, that wasn't so hard. I talked to a lawyer. That was surreal, but I did it. And you'll be more informed. You'll understand your rights. Get ahead of it.
And don't let him spout like blatant lies as facts in this conversation. He's going to probably have so much to say. It's just not true. Like, what's true is you've seen him twice in the last month and you feel alone in your marriage and you're miserable.
And it's just not working for you. And let him hunt. You can go hunt, man.
Yeah, have fun.
Yeah, I do not Anyway, I'm so sorry. that
Yeah.
You're going through
Thank
this, but
you.
You have so much going for you. And you need to stop throwing it away.
Yeah, I need to stop thinking like I'm too old to find someone else. I
So
just
not.
need
You are not.
Yeah.
You're not. Like, you're going to be just fine in that department. Trust me.
Well, thank you so much for hearing me out and making me feel like I'm not crazy.
You're
for thinking
not
this
the
is a
only
problem.
you're crazy for even thinking that this is remotely normal. You're crazy for trying to have a conversation with him. This is so extreme that like there's nothing to talk about. I mean, I'd love to know what couples therapist would say. I'd be like, I don't even know where to start. Did you send it, by the way?
No, it's like in my phone right now. I haven't sent it yet. It just like I don't know if I want to say that I want a divorce part. Maybe like just that I'm no longer willing to live my life alone. We can talk about this when you get home.
But what does that mean?
I don't know.
What about
He doesn't take you seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that sucks is like if it were enough to just communicate your feelings, like you've communicated your feelings. He doesn't care about them. He's not making choices based on your feelings.
He's going to call your
Oh.
bluff.
Yeah, I don't think he ever thinks I'll leave. Okay, I will send it.
and then text your friends and make sure
Could
they
you
know.
Send it?
Yes. He's gonna say like you're crazy and
not
blame
crazy.
it on the podcast.
Fine. You don't have to be married to me
you
anymore.
Know, great.
Yeah.
Let him. I mean, like you're alone and you're a prisoner in your own life, and you deserve so much more. And there's probably so many guys out there who would just love to have you in their life. Would be so grateful to have you in your life. That would cherish the opportunity to treat you well, to take you out, to spend time with you, to raise a family with you. Millions of men. Might be hard to find here or there, but promise me, you will.
I know. Like, I really only had one relationship my whole life.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I'm scared that I won't find another person.
Look, it's scary. It's because we've all worried about that. I've worried about that. You know, we've all worried about that. It's normal to worry about that, but it's just untrue. And, you know, some people, if I were talking, I could be talking to you and I could be like, hey, listen, man, before you get back out there, you might need to do a lot of work on yourself and get your shit together. You don't seem like your best self, you know, maybe investing your health and yada, yada, or go back to school. But like, you know, I don't know you at all, but like you got your shit together. The only thing that you got to work on is speaking up and standing up for yourself, which is something you should definitely work on. But like everything else you got going for you right now, there's a lot of men out there who would just be fucking thrilled to have you in their life. So
thanks for saying that.
Keep believing that. Only surround yourself with people right now that give you confidence and gas you up and make you feel good about yourself. And don't let anyone make you feel less than right now. And just have no patience for that, especially him.
Sounds good.
All right. We're going to cut.
I'm nervous for tonight, but thank you.
I understand. And honestly, the priority, is not talking to him tonight. If you feel safer with your girlfriends or whatever, let him stew, let him wonder. Everything that makes this feel more real, that's what you should do. So honestly, if you don't want to deal with him tonight, go sleep at a girlfriend's house. You have cash, go get a hotel, treat yourself to a fucking spa day. Reach out to some of your girls and be like, spa day on me. We're staying in a hotel tonight. Have a just go fucking ham.
Yeah.
All right.
And stuff for you.
Sounds good.
All right. Keep us posted. We're going to check in on you.
I will. I'll give you an update.
All right. All right. Good luck. We're proud of you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp Therapy. It's so important. It really, truly is. It can just do so much for your life because you are taking care of your mental health. Just like people are taking care of all other aspects of their health, your mental health is just as important. And the thing about therapy, we get it. It can be intimidating. It's hard to find the right therapist. It can be expensive. Well, when it comes to BetterHelp, they're helping in all those areas. BetterHelp, online therapy made simple. It is far more affordable than in-person therapy. And the great thing about BetterHelp is they're working with literally thousands of therapists. They're signing up new therapists every day, increasing your chances of finding a therapist that you connect with, that you relate to. It's so easy to start. You just go to BetterHelp.com. You take a quick assessment, tell them why you're looking for a therapist, what kind of topics that you want to discuss, and they will assign you a new therapist. But the good news is, if it doesn't work out with that particular person, maybe there's not a vibe, maybe you just don't feel comfortable, because you really need to feel comfortable. You can go ahead and trade them out and wait till you find someone that fits your needs. And it's just super convenient. You can do it on your phone, your tablet, your computer. You can do it on breaks. You can do it in your car. You can do it on vacation, your hotel room, your house. It really doesn't matter. BetterHelp is there to help you.
Also, these therapists are so great because I've been moving, which has just been stressful, and I haven't had a lot of time. And I just got an email notification this morning that good old Shannon, she sent me a note and she just said, I'm checking in on you. And sometimes it's as simple as just knowing that you have someone in your corner where even if you haven't been on your A game and scheduling sessions, or maybe you've gone off the grid a little bit, they're going to follow up. And I thought that was very nice.
Find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/VIALL today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/VIALL. BetterHelp.com/VIALL. Skylight Frame. Looking for a more meaningful gift this holiday season that your loved ones will actually use and enjoy? Well, you got to check out Skylight Frame. Skylight is a touchscreen photo frame that you can send photos to straight from your phone, and they appear in seconds on your frame. Imagine that. You give your grandma, Gam Gam, a nice little Skylight frame, and then you update current pictures of your life, your new loved ones. Maybe it's someone you've been dating, someone you're in love with. Maybe it's some friends. Maybe you got to do hairdo, and you can just instantly upgrade your images onto their frame. I had some friends who have a skylight frame. I've told this story multiple times. Now, and I went to go visit their home. We appeared into their home. They have a big skylight frame, kind of center stage of their house, and they got it because every time they have company, they always put images of their friends coming to their house. It's just a great little kind of conversation starter, makes people feel welcome. That's a fun application for skylight frame. And again, you have those from the heart moments. Again, the people in your the people in your life, your parents, you moved out of the house, they missed you, and they are always asking for updates on your life. Let's get them a skylight frame, and then every week update them with pictures of you and what you're doing, and it will appear in their frame, and it just makes everyone happy. It's so great. It's such a creative, meaningful gift.
I used this just this past weekend. We went and picked out our Christmas tree, and obviously my 93 and 94-year-old grandmas couldn't attend. One of them is out of state. And my mom was like, you know what? I'm going to send a photo of our Christmas tree to both of them and then tell them to keep their eye out on their frame so that they can be part of this moment.
It's a special limited time offer for our listeners. Get $15 off your purchase of a skylight frame when you go to skylightframe.com/files. That's FILES. To get $15 off your purchase of a skylight frame, just go to skylightframe.com/files. That's skylightframe.com/FILES. Get $15 off a skylight frame at skylightframe.com/FILES. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's your name?
I'm Jessica, and I'm 23.
How can we help, Jessica?
I'm wondering if I should just ask out my long-distance situationship instead of waiting for him to.
Okay. How long have you been hanging out with Mr. Situationship?
I met him in the summer, but we really only started talking the beginning of September. But that's actually when it kind of went into like a long-distance friendship. So,
friendship or situationship? Like, what is your guys' dynamic? Like, give us a little background.
Right now, it's situationship. Basically, we were friends over the summer.
Okay.
It's just that we were working together. I was his boss. So it was really just like friendly. I don't think either of us would have ever escalated it into like flirting because of that dynamic. But it was his last day at work. And that night, we were all hanging out and I could kind of feel the tides turning. And we've been texting every day since that day. We've hung out a few times since then, and it's definitely situationship territory.
Okay, but you haven't hooked up?
We've hooked up. We haven't like had sex, but we've
seen each other naked?
A time or two.
Okay. All right. What conversations, if any, have you had about your dynamic?
He visited twice. The first time he visited, we had 2 dates that went really well, and my goal of the second one was kind of being like, hey, I do really like you and I think we're getting along well, but I'm not personally in a place to like take anyone seriously or be in a relationship. And his response to that was kind of, cool, I wouldn't want to date anyone long distance anyway. But we're still talking every day and we've hung out since.
Say that one more time. What you said? What?
I said, I like talking to you and getting to know you, but personally, I'm not in a place to take anybody seriously or like start a serious relationship.
Did you mean that?
Yeah.
Why?
I was 2 months out, 3 months at that point, out of like a pretty big relationship in my life, and it ended not great. Like, I'm not proud of a lot of those moments. So I know that I had a lot to figure out, and I still do. I feel like I'm just working through it pretty fast. I think also because this guy is far away, I've been able to really process a lot more on my own.
What are you proud of when it comes to your last breakup?
I did cheat on my ex-boyfriend.
Okay.
Which
with him or with someone else?
No,
Okay.
somebody else. But it's not something that like I ever saw myself doing. I was very much someone who's like, oh, I would never do such a thing. And then when it happened, I took like a hard stop and looked at like myself and how that even came to be and the relationship. And I think a lot of where I've come from is that I had to like just accept that that relationship wasn't perfect. There were so many flaws within it. And I really see how I kind of got to that point on a personal level with like my confidence and the way that I was looking at everything. So that's why I was hard stop. I can't date anyone right now.
That makes sense. And do you feel like you're at a place now, like, let's say you shoot your shot with this guy, you guys start dating, 3 years from now goes by, all of a sudden turns out a little toxic, you feel ignored, you feel invalidated, do you feel like you're now going to address that and deal with your shit in that relationship before you find comfort somewhere else?
100%. I think that a large part of me processing that breakup was kind of unpacking what got me to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how was I feeling, unpacking the problems in the relationship and kind of why that even felt like an option to me, why I felt like I needed to do it, how I got to feeling that way. And a big part of what I'm doing now is kind of trying to like be able to see those signs in real time instead of just looking back and being like, oh, I see it now, but kind of practicing actually feeling that way and noticing that that's what it is. And then also would like to practice speaking up and doing something about it.
Mm-hmm. Great. And why do you feel like this guy is someone that you want to shoot your shot with? Like, he is long distance. How long distance?
It's 3 hours
driving
by car.
Okay, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's
why
not that bad.
why do
Neither
you think
of us
he's
drive,
worth it?
so it's
Wait, neither of you drive?
no. So it'd be like a train or a bus kind of situation.
Why don't you drive?
We're both from the city, and it's just
okay, yeah.
don't
cultural.
really get.
No,
it's
I
a
hear you.
cultural
I hear
thing.
you. Yeah, that makes sense. Like East Coast.
It's one of those things.
Yeah,
Yeah, you Midwesterners are like licensed, ready to go.
I mean, yeah. When I moved to Chicago, I got rid of my car and didn't miss it at all. So I hear you. I get it.
Yeah, I've never felt like. Yeah, so it's one of those things.
All right, but whatever. You can take a train.
But he also doesn't drive, so we have that in common. But also,
Yeah.
It's crazy that it sounds so weird, but it kind of snuck up on me, and that's almost kind of what I like about it. Like, I wasn't trying to make him like me or trying to get along or trying to like force anything, which I feel like I've done a lot. I have like in the back of my mind, oh, I hope this person likes me. But we just kind of really get along, and like I understand him so much more when he talks, and we've talked a lot about like life and what we want and how we see things. And I think the fact that we both come from like divorced households has really felt good in a way that I didn't realize it would. I had never dated anybody who had similar experiences in that way. He's just easy to talk to. And I hate kind of that I like him as much as I do, because it really complicates my entire life right now. But I do.
Why does it complicate your life?
Because now I have this to deal with.
What do you mean?
What if I didn't like him?
Isn't it fun and exciting to like someone?
Yeah, no, I'm having a blast. Like, genuinely, like I really like him. So I'm like, oh my God. But I think about him talking to other people and I just don't like it.
Yeah, okay.
And I think about only wanting to talk to him. I don't even want to talk to other people. I feel like I know that I'm ready to date him. Obviously, there's still more we need to like learn about each other. We're not going to like get married. But I just feel like I'm ready to take that kind of a step in our relationship, even if he's 3 hours away.
So yeah, you should definitely not wait. You've heard me say that I think it's the person who knows what they want, the responsibility to communicate that with someone. Sounds like you're pretty clear that you know what you want, and you want a shot at getting to know him better. You want a shot at figuring out if there's something there. And you know that you're willing to, have this long distance relationship because why not? It's hard to make connections with people. It is only a train ride away. Technology makes it super easy to like stay in touch and FaceTime and things like that. And while it's not super convenient, if it's worth it, then you'll make it work. How old are you again?
23.
23. How old is he?
22.
Okay. I wish he was a little bit older, but whatevs.
Yeah. I think I'm just scared that like my expectations of him are going to change once we're like dating.
It might.
Like now
you're only 23.
Like,
he's only 22. You at least need to like accept the fact that you both might not fully know what you want for the rest of your lives. If this was 1970, I would be like, hey, it's time to get fucking married or something, but it's not 1970 anymore. And unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know. I don't know if it's good or bad, but like we're all kind of maturing a little later in life, and less is asked of us as teenagers and early adults in terms of, our responsibilities. And we're giving the patience and grace to figure things out later in life. And it wouldn't be a shock to me if both of you, date for a couple years and break up, deal with some heartbreak at 25, 26, and then, marry someone else. I don't know. I can't predict the future. I don't know if at your age or me saying this, like what that sounds like to you, or if you like hearing that, but I wish when I was your age, not to sound like an old guy or I wish I was just more chill and open-minded about where my life could go. And I wish I would just have been more willing to take more risks, try things out, be more adventurous, be okay with things not working out, not being afraid of rejection or disappointment or failure, and just say to myself, I'll figure it out. I will figure it out one way or the other. Shit's going to happen. I'll deal with it. I'll learn from it. I'll reflect, but I'm not going to be scared to act. And I think that's the mentality you should try to have. And so I don't know what's going to happen with you and this guy. You don't know what's going to happen. You know slightly more about him than I do. As a 22-year-old man, he's got 22 years of life that you have to learn about him. You know, but you get what, you get what I'm saying. And as close as you are, and as much as you feel like you know so much about him, you don't. And that's exciting. So now you guys, that's something you guys will get to do if you guys continue to talk and date. But don't psych yourself out about the future. Who knows what the future holds? So yes, you should shoot your shot. And how you should do it, you need to do it. If you've ever listened to me talk, you need to do it with confidence, and you need to tell him exactly what you want. And you can be like, I know you say you don't do long distance, but let's stop kidding ourselves. Like, we're already doing long distance, and if we like each other enough, we'll make it worth it. And I think you're worth it. So are you willing to do this with me or not? Some version of that. You should be pretty fucking direct to the point where he's almost like, oh, whoa, geez, just calm down, and then he's almost certainly going to turn you down at first. 50-50. He's going to give you the whole, like, I don't do long distance. He is going to try to maintain what you have without agreeing to you having more expectations of him. Because that is unfortunately the world we live in right now. And until we make people change, they're not going to change. And I would be shocked if he is going to agree to giving up his freedoms as a single man, all while, because right now he already has access to you. He gets to talk to you. He gets to fool around with you. He gets to reach out to you when he needs to. You're going to answer the phone and vice versa. And you're going to have to prove to him that you're willing to give him up if you don't get what you deserve in a committed relationship. So, tell him what you said to me. I think I like you. I hope that's not a surprise. And I want to see where this can go. And I want to commit to you. I don't want to date anyone else. I don't want you to date anyone else. And I know I don't care that we're long distance. I want us to date. I think we're great together. You make me feel this. You make me feel that. I hope you feel the same about me. And I'm going to be super bummed if you tell me no. But if you do tell me no, this has to stop. And you need to follow through with that. And then you stop taking his calls. Assuming he turns you down. You don't reply. You don't reach out to him when you're missing him. You mute him on social media or block him. Muting is, I like muting, so it doesn't seem like you're getting his attention, so to speak. And then you see if he comes around. And you say, don't reach out to me unless you change your mind.
Yeah. I think it's the whole, like, I genuinely need to mean it when I say, this is what I want or bust.
Yes, because if you don't, then you lose your credibility. Now, that being said, you'll get a couple, like, cracks at the bat. Like, Natalie tried it a couple times, and I'm just too hard to resist. But eventually, she got the guts. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's an imperfect science. Like, you don't get one. The truth is, you don't get one shot at this. But it won't work until you actually do have the guts to walk away.
I think also, I do think I'm going to give him this speech whenever I can get him on the phone next. But the long distance portion is also so short-lived. Like, he graduates in May and moves back home, and then we're in the same town.
Yeah. So
is it worth it for me to mention and be like, and the long distance thing is kind of such an excuse, it's ridiculous? Or do I just, like, leave that?
I mean, you can either dress it head on, like I said, and just call it out before he even has a chance to make an excuse. Or you can wait to see if he makes it an excuse and then say he's an idiot.
I've said that before. I'll be fine.
Yeah. But really, at the end of the day, what it's about is you being confident that you think this is a good choice for the both of you. And regardless of what he wants, you know that you want it.
Yeah.
And it's about you being confident in your feelings. And you being confident that if he doesn't want what you want, you have no problem moving on. You'll be sad, you'll be disappointed, you'll be heartbroken, but you'll also be fine. But what you won't do is waste your time on people who aren't willing to prioritize you and are interested in getting to know you. And if he can't stop, hooking up with some women while he gets to know you, then you're not worth it to him, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He did make a comment to me at one point, and he was like, I just want you to know I'm not talking to anybody else because I don't like.
Great.
He said the words, I don't morally feel good doing that if I'm talking to you. He's like, you don't have to do the same, but.
Great. So it sounds like he likes you. So
maybe
he won't, maybe he won't turn you down. I don't know. But just be prepared that he will.
I just feel like he would have asked me by now because I've just made it so clear that I really like him. And he said that to me, but it's like, what are we like waiting for? And I don't want to sit in this like limbo I've been in this for like 2 months, and that already
because
feels
it's fun to
long
flirt.
enough.
It's fun. I was talking to a buddy who just started dating someone. Good looking cat, has no problem getting women, finally in a relationship. And he's like, yeah, fuck, man. It's like as soon as I get in a relationship, all these like hotties come out of the woodwork, and like relationships are about sacrifice and finding out whether you are worth it to him. And that's what it's all about. Because otherwise, like, who gives a shit? Does it really matter all the shit you share or care about if he's not willing to give up hooking up with and flirting with other women? But like, as a 22-year-old guy, it makes sense that he enjoys flirting and going out and having his freedom and having his cake and eat it too. And you're here to say, well, if you want access to me, you don't get to do that. And he gets to decide whether you're worth it. And he may decide as a 22-year-old guy, like, hey, I like you and all, but like, I just want to be 22 and single. But you'd only be fucking with your emotions if you tried to pretend that you could do that, because you like them and it's obvious.
Yeah, I think that's why I need to do something now, because I'm just like putting myself in this position to be like so hurt and sad until I say something.
So now is as good a time as any. I wouldn't wait. I would just do it as soon as possible. You just make it clear. I'm not saying we get married. I'm not even like, I don't need you to call me my boyfriend today, but what I want from you is like, I want us to commit to like seeing if this can work. And I want to know that you want to try this out. And I really, really like you. And I want to keep getting to know you. And that's it. Mm-hmm. And maybe a month from now we'll break up. I don't know. I don't know what the future's going to hold for us, but like, I'm willing to try it out. And I'm willing to, get my heart broken, but we should at least try. Just that confidence is, I say it all the time, but like, the more confident you sound, like you're going to be fine either way, the more he'll be scared that he won't be fine without you.
Yeah. And I do feel like I'll be okay either way.
Yeah. So
it's just like saying it is so scary.
Make that very clear to him.
I got it.
Okay.
He's already a little scared of me. So
there you go.
It'll be good.
All right. Well, good luck. Please keep us posted.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I'll let you know.
All right. Promise?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right. Talk soon.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
bye. Thanks.
Skims! Well, maybe the greatest underwear ever worn. It's something special about Skims, truly. They are magical. They're thick, they're durable, but also like not crunchy. It's like a durable, like the quality is, I don't know, just seems more durable, but yet it has that very breathable fabric. It doesn't bunch up. It's truly an incredible piece of underwear. It's a game-changing underwear. We'll never go back.
Skims is creating the next generation of underwear for everybody. And they actually have a collection called the Fits Everybody collection of underwear and bralettes that I've really been enjoying. Really, really like buttery soft fabrics that stretches. So when you take it out, you'll be surprised that like it can stretch so far without losing its shape or any of its amazing kind of beautiful qualities. And it's available in sizes XXS to 4X. One of my favorites from the collection is the Fits Everybody Racerback bralette. I wear a lot of these tank tops that are a little bit like tighter in or more of a racerback fit. And I was tired of seeing the bra straps every single time I try to find a bra underneath it. So I got one in a shade that's similar to my skin tone. So I'm able to wear it under like white tank tops. You don't even know it's there, but it gives a little bit of support. It's nice and smooth. And honestly, it's become my like daily want to wear all the time type of bra. I do love it so much that I have pulled it out of the dirty clothes to wear it again.
Believe the hype. Skims has over 100,000 5-star reviews for a reason. The Fits Everybody collection and more perfect fit essentials are available now at skims.com. Plus, get free shipping on orders over $75 at skims.com. and free shipping for orders over $75. After you place your order, be sure to let them know that we sent you. Select podcasts in the survey and be sure to select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. And if you are looking for the perfect gift for the whole family, Skims just launched their biggest holiday gift shop ever, also available at skims.com. Helix Sleep, the best sleep you'll ever truly have. I am obsessed with my bed. I can't, the best part of my day is slipping in to our bed every night, and it's a Helix mattress. It's the greatest mattress ever created. I will never sleep on another mattress ever again for the rest of my life. Truly. It is amazing. I don't know why Helix mattresses are as affordable as they are, because they should be priceless, because comfortable sleep is priceless, and yet they're incredibly reasonable prices. They got a mattress for every kind of sleeper. Helix lineup offers 20 unique mattresses, including the award-winning Luxe Collection, the newly released Helix Elite Collection, a mattress designed for big and tall sleepers, and even a mattress made just for kids. However you sleep, on your side, on your back, on your stomach, whether you sleep hot or cold, it doesn't matter. Helix has a mattress for you. Helix knows there's no better way to test out a mattress than sleeping on it in your own home. That's why Helix offers a 100-night trial and a 10 to 15-year warranty to try out your new Helix mattress. You won't need it, but you got it. Try on it, bounce on it, sleep on it, roll around on it for 100 nights, and if you don't like it, you can send it on back. It won't happen, but you can do it. It's truly an incredible mattress. I can't say enough of great things. If you are in the mattress market today, only look at Helix. That's all you need to do. Make it easy, make it simple. And the best part is it's also fun to open. I'm sleeping on the Moonlight mattress. Natalie and I are sleeping on the Moonlight mattress, if you care to know. It's an incredible mattress. We love it. Helix is offering 20% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/VIALL. This is their best offer yet, and it won't last long. With Helix, better sleep starts now. How's it going?
All right. Hi, my name's Grace. I'm 21, and my parents think I should break up with my boyfriend after I graduate college, and I don't know if I should.
Okay. How much are your parents driving this, and how much are you also thinking about ending it, regardless of what your parents think?
I want a lot more freedom than I feel like my boyfriend would be able to provide me after I graduate college. Well, so my boyfriend right now is working not the most financially stable job. He's working more like paycheck to paycheck right now, since he's like not going to college and he's not really into getting a higher education. He just hasn't been putting much time into planning out a good financial future for himself. And I've never wanted to stay in my hometown, and I think he's kind of stuck living here for the rest of his life. I'm a nursing major, so I decided I wanted to go into nursing because I wanted a little more freedom, like where I want to live geographically after I graduate. And I've never wanted to settle down here, but I don't think he really has the option to move like I would. And my parents don't really want me to have financial issues like they've struggled with.
I mean, what does
their
he
entire
do?
life, so.
Is he going to college? No.
No.
What's he do?
He works on a line at like a new electric car truck
Gotcha.
company that came into town.
How old is he?
He's 21.
Gotcha.
Or 22, actually.
I know this is what he's doing now, but I mean, not that this really has anything to do with your question. Like, if you want to pass this information along to him, you're welcome to. But like, I don't know what he's capable of. I get what he's doing right now is pretty limiting, but like, he can get a different job somewhere else. He's only 21. You can reinvent yourself.
I know.
Multiple times. That being said, not really the point of the call. Listen, this is solely, I think you should base your decision off of, and it sounds like you are, like, you're only 21. What do you want to do with your life? Also, like, why do you have a boyfriend?
I love him.
Okay.
I love him. I think, especially at like our age, it's kind of hard to find someone who's genuine.
Yeah.
And he's one of the most caring and selfless people I've ever met. So, and I know I'm so young, but I think I've just seen a lot of bad relationships in high school, throughout college.
So you have a good relationship?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a very solid relationship.
How aware is he of your hopes and dreams as an individual?
He's known since the day we like got together, basically.
That what?
So he's known that I've been wanting to like leave town.
Okay, so he knows. Great. And how supportive of those dreams do you feel like he is?
I feel like he's supportive, but he also feels limited and like he can't really like move with me anywhere.
Why not?
I kind of don't think he wants to leave.
Okay.
We grew up in the same hometown. I go to school in my hometown, and that's where we met. And I don't think he really wants to leave his family. And I am perfectly fine leaving my parents, and both my siblings are like off doing their own thing. So I am pretty secure moving hours away, and I don't think he wants to do that.
Okay. Well, life's a choice, and I think, you're going to have to decide how, meaningful this relationship is. It would be perfectly understandable for you to just say, listen, I'm 21. I have no interest in getting married for the foreseeable future. I'm not sure what your interest in having kids are, or if even it's on your radar. But again, it would be perfectly normal and understandable if it's just not on your radar. But right now, you are interested in seeing the world and living in new cities and being adventurous and seeing where life takes you. And regardless of what you think of him as a person in your relationship, you realize that your personal goals right now are the priority, and you at least want to be honest with him about that, because for the next couple years, you just want to focus on those personal goals, and it would be selfish of you to be in a relationship. And so therefore you should break up. Totally understandable. If that's what you decide to do, I would be like, as a friend, big brother, whatever, I'd be like, makes sense. On the flip side, if this is truly a healthy relationship, regardless of your age, and you really appreciate him as a person, you could thread the needle, so to speak. Maybe there's a middle ground. You could say, hey, listen, you've always known I don't want to end up here. And if I end up here, I don't want to end up here having at least seen other parts of the world. If I end up here after living in a different city or two, then so be it. But I want to see the world, and I want to move out of the nest. I want to live away from home, and I love you. And I love being with you, and I'd love for you to be a part of that. But at the same time, like, obviously I know that you don't want to leave, but also you're not entirely sure, you think, so maybe you should just kind of check in there and actually have him say that. And listen, like, he can leave and move back. And I know maybe, the hard part, I'm guessing where he's at, is that he probably makes decent enough money for his age, given the work that he's doing. But there's just probably not an upward mobility for him, he's probably part of some union, and maybe he'll eventually become sort of like shift manager, but, there's a limited amount of earning potential, which in this small town maybe is totally nice to have a high quality life, yada, yada. But you want more for yourself, and you're just going to have to get on the same page of what you guys want for each other. But he can certainly quit his job. He could move to any city that you want, and at a minimum get like a bartending job or a server job. And he could go back to school. And there's a million things for him to try. So I don't know what the future is going to hold for you two. But being 21, you have the benefit of saying, I don't know. And that's okay to not know, because I don't know what the future holds. But I want to be with you. And I do know we have a good relationship. So, you could see if he's willing to be adventurous with you.
Well, okay. So I guess another thing I should add is that, not that this is like forever limiting, but he did buy a house.
No, you can rent it out. So what?
Yeah.
Great. Now he has a nice revenue stream. Now he's an entrepreneur. Great. Amazing.
I just don't see, like, he doesn't have that drive. And I don't think he has it in himself, really. I don't think he has that much he wants to be like more of a nature guy. And he's tried like different jobs and stuff, like online and things, like tried learning coding, and none of it's panned out. Like, I don't really see the work ethic. I know, but
listen, you know him. I don't know. Like, and the fact that maybe he's good, not great for you. Maybe he is a really sweet guy, but maybe you want more for yourself. Again, totally understandable. Maybe you realize that as someone that like is more driven and more adventurous, that as great as he is, you want someone who matches it a little bit better. But at the same time, maybe he balances you out. Maybe another person who is just as driven as you might not feel like that relationship is as healthy as you have right now. Life's all about finding balance. So right now, what you need to do is stop guessing what you think he wants and just have a conversation with him about how you're feeling. It's like you told him when you first started dating that you wanted to move, but I don't know how many times you guys checked in with each other between now and then.
I know you're saying he could get a new job. He could get a new job. But he could like rent out the house, I guess. I didn't really think about that. But he keeps saying that he's going to be stuck in there for another 2 years.
There's a lot of things when you're younger, you feel like things aren't it's not possible. And you maybe, you don't know because you don't know, like I didn't know a lot when I was 21. You probably know more than I did when I was your age, but like, I hope that you have a lot to learn, and you guys will figure it out. All I am saying is right now you keep saying things like, I think of this about him. I'm guessing this about him. Yada, I stop guessing and find out. Just talk to him. There's no wrong. Just say, hey, listen, like, I still like, yeah, I want him. Nashville, Austin, Texas, New York, Chicago. I don't know. But like, I don't want to live here right now. I may end up here. I don't know. But I am going to move somewhere, at least for a period of time, because I've always wanted to do that. It's super important to me. And yeah, I know we've talked and I know you've made a house, but at the end of the day, I'm saying this is something I'm going to do. This is not an if, it's a when. But I want to talk to you about what are we doing? He literally asked the question, if you're going to move to Nashville, then what are we doing? Well, let's have a conversation about what we're doing. Yeah. And just like two adults, because you're both adults. I know I say you're young, but you're an adult, and as an adult, you can have this conversation with each other and you can figure it out and be like, I love you. I think we have a great relationship. And honestly, I just want to make it clear that like, I'm so appreciative of what we have. But as a 21-year-old woman with a lot of hopes and dreams, I am not willing to give up on those hopes and dreams to just like start my life and know that my rest of my life is just sitting living here in the small town. I'm not yucking your yum. I'm not judging you, but I don't want that. If you would love to come with me, that'd be great. And if you don't, I don't know, maybe we try long distance. I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm just saying have a conversation with him. And you might come to the same conclusions then after our conversations that you have now. He might say like, listen, I'm just never going to move. And you're going to be like, well, I am. And then maybe you guys say, all right, well, as sad as it makes us feel, then maybe we should break up. But just talk to him about it. Figure it out together. Yeah. There might be some tears and anger and sadness, but you have the right to follow your dreams. He has the right to be stubborn and follow his, but as far as his work ethic and things like that, instead of, just find out if he's willing to take a risk with you. And if he's not, that'll give you the answer you want, that you're looking for,
I don't know. I just I've been thinking about it for a long time.
If you want to break up with him, break up with him. Also, because if you don't have the conversation with him, even if it's true, he can deny it. What I mean by that is you might say, you call him up. Hey, listen, I think we should break up. He's going to be devastated. And when we're devastated, we start oh my God, have you ever, I don't know if you've ever had your heart broken before, but let me tell you, if you do, you will start saying that you're willing to do a bunch of shit that you were never willing to do, because all you want is that fucking pain to go away. He'll be like, I'll live on fucking Mars. He might say a bunch of crazy shit, He might not, but anyone listening, now you know what I'm talking about. So before you just break up with them and tell him, well, you were never willing to move, you were never going to do that, and that's why we're breaking up, and then he can be like, well, you never asked, and I didn't, just talk to him about it. If you break up, you deserve to have an amicable breakup, and despite the difficulty of that conversation, you both deserve to just talk through and be two mature adults and talk about your differences and your similarities and how you can make this work, or just come to a conclusion despite the love for each other that right now, maybe this relationship isn't what's best for the both of you. Maybe you'll return, maybe you could get back together, but right now it would be selfish and self-centered of you to try to make this relationship work, or for the both of you, knowing that you have some individual hopes and dreams that you know for a fact that you want to do.
Okay.
So that's what I think you should do. Just talk to him.
Okay.
Tell him what you want to do. Check in with him. Don't assume. Ask.
Okay.
And challenge him to be honest with you, and challenge each other to have the difficult and awkward conversations, and let him know how appreciative you are of everything that you guys have shared together. But at the end of the day, this is something you guys need to figure out, because you're about to graduate. You're about to make some pretty significant choices in your life. Those choices are going to matter. So make sure that you're making them with a clear mind, and talk through it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's another thing I'm really worried about, ending a good relationship in the middle of my senior year. I'm nervous about like making decisions based on like my sadness, I guess. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Well,
Like I feel like I'm going to go into a depressive state because I don't know. It's weird to break up because of circumstances.
I mean, you're not broken up yet. So.
Well, yeah, I know, but
what you need to do is find out exactly where you two are in your relationship, and you need to include your immediate hopes and dreams, because you know you want to do that.
okay.
Like, you don't need to necessarily break up. I mean, again, like, you know, you're not moving yet, so there's no point in not having each other. And you're like, how long you been dating?
Almost 3 years.
3 years. So like, is still hanging out and it's already going to be hard. You're going to miss them when you move. It doesn't, like, that's a guarantee, right? So yeah, there's no point in breaking up now.
Well, okay. Is that selfish? I feel like that's selfish.
Give him an option. If he wants to break up with you based off of you being honest with your choices, hey, I know I'm going to move. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And just so you know, I just want to be upfront with you about that. If he wants to say, well, then we should break up now, then so be it. And then instead of you, panicking and saying, oh, just wait, I'll quit, like, again, like, you're just going to have to like trust the fact that like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be scary. Yeah, you'll miss him. But this is a part of life. And you're going to meet a lot of guys in Nashville or Chicago, wherever you're at. And yeah, you might meet a couple fuckboys and shitheads in between, now and when you meet your next guy, or maybe it's going to be him, but like, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. And I'm not going to say it's always going to be happy and you won't be sad, but like, you'll figure it out, and just trust that you'll figure it out and it's going to all be okay. And you should be super excited that you are an ambitious person who has the ability to move and travel, and you've invested in yourself and you're about to graduate. And just tell yourself it's okay to be sad, but it's not the end of the world. I'll get through it. The biggest mistake I made when I was your age is act like everything was the end of the world. I'll never get over this, because it kind of felt like I wouldn't get over it. But instead of like, I made a bad situation worse by telling myself shit I knew nothing about, and I acted like everything was the end of the fucking world. So I promise you it's not the end of the world. And you don't know what the future holds. And maybe you guys will get back together. But I just think what you should do is talk to your boyfriend of 3 years and just be honest and check in with each other about what you guys want as individuals over the next 2 or 3 years. And just acknowledge that if they don't line up, that's something you guys can't ignore. And you can't make him move, and he can't make you not move. And if you guys care about each other, you will at least respect that the other person has different hopes and dreams that you guys have. And instead of making each other feel bad or guilty about those individual hopes and dreams, and instead of judging each other, just accept that you had a good run. And at least for the time being, you need to say goodbye. And, you've heard the whole corny phrase, if you love something, let it free and see if it comes back. And you guys have to see if you find your way back to each other,
Okay.
Be excited that you have so many possibilities the way your life can turn out. And that's fun and exciting and a little scary, but it should be more fun and exciting.
Yeah. Okay.
But just talk to him.
I don't know when. Okay.
You know what?
Okay. Well, it's just like, it's a weird time right now. Like,
well, don't do it right now, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, well, then I just say, okay, then I feel like I have something in the back of my head, and I feel like I kind of feel like a bitch because I feel like I'm holding something back from him for like months, weeks.
There will never be a good.
I'm going to talk to him about it.
There's never going to be a good time.
I know. I knew you were going to say that, but do I really do it like over
what?
Like Thanksgiving, Christmas?
Yeah, I don't know. You're not breaking up with him. You're just saying, hey, we need to talk. Wait, do you graduate? Do you graduate in December, or do you graduate in April?
I graduate in May.
May,
May, April, same thing. I don't know. I just feel like weird having like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But I don't know. I don't know if it'll end up being that way, but I don't know. I guess I just have to talk to him.
You just do, and I'm sorry, but it's a part of life. You just got to deal with your shit.
I know. Okay.
You got to get good at it. Because the opposite is just avoiding it and putting it down and making excuses for yourself. And then you become the ghoster or the cheater and things like that. Because people who ghost and people who cheat and things like that, they do it for a lot of reasons, right? But sometimes it's just simply people who just got really good at it, making excuses of why is not the good time to have a tough conversation. Instead of having the tough conversation, they just kind of live their life as if like that person will just figure it out.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to get good at having these types of conversations, and there's never going to be a good time, but you're just going to have to do it.
Okay.
And maybe you guys come to a temporary decision that, hey, this is a tough reality. I don't want to lose you yet. He doesn't want to lose you. I'm not moving anytime soon. So, but like, just so you know, come April, this is another conversation we're going to have, but maybe over the holidays, we'll just stay together. I don't know.
It's so weird.
Why is it that weird? Why is it that weird?
I don't, because it feels like.
Again, maybe I'm just talking as the old guy, but you know what's weirder, and everyone's done it, is like they break up and then they keep hanging out and they keep having sex and they keep acting like boyfriend and girlfriend, but like they know they can't be together. Listen, you guys will find your way back to each other, you know, like, or not, but like, it's not that weird. You just have to talk and communicate. And if he says, hey, I just can't do this, I can't keep hanging out with you knowing that we're not going to work out, then maybe you guys decide to have some time apart and separate. This will be difficult. There is no way to deal with this decision easily. And you know what? The good news is because you have built something that matters to you.
Yeah.
And at least that's the good thing.
I know, it just gets thrown away. Like, it's just so weird.
No, you know, it's not thrown away. I don't know how I don't know what memory this guy's going to have in your life. Maybe he will be your future husband and the father of your children, or maybe he'll be a distant memory. I don't know what the world has for you, but life is going to only get weirder.
You're probably right.
No, I know I'm right. Yeah. Especially for someone like for yourself, right? He, wants to live in the small town, wants to have a simple life. You don't want to have a simple life. And the less simple you want it, the more complications. And some of those complications will be fun and exciting and exhilarating, but some of them will also be like fucking shitty and a bummer and shit you're going to have to work through. And there'll be highs and lows. And now is as good a time to start about working out, dealing with your shit and working through these weird things and working through these awkward moments. Because while as awkward as they were, as they are, that you can work through it. You can communicate.
Yeah.
The life that you want requires maturity. It requires communication. It requires for you to be a little more thicker skinned than most, and that's awesome. And I tell you what, it's a fun life that you want for yourself. And a lot of people, if you have the guts to do it, a lot of people, maybe him, will be jealous of where you're at in 10 years and where he's not. But there's a cost to everything. So
yeah, I've never lived far away from home, so I've also thought, is it just gonna pan out really bad and I'm just gonna want to come home?
Maybe not. Probably not.
And then
when you move, give yourself some grace and time. Give yourself some grace and time to not like it, to feel lonely, to be uncomfortable. It takes time to get to know a city and make it your own. You can always go back home.
Yeah.
But talk to him with an open mind. Okay. Don't go into that conversation already decided how that's going to turn out. At least give him a chance to surprise you.
Okay. And you suggest I have this conversation whenever I want to?
Whenever you want. Between now and when you graduate.
Okay. A long time.
But yeah, I mean, because there's no real, he kind of knows, but I would at least keep communicating with him. And maybe kind of breadcrumb it. Maybe it's not one big conversation. Maybe kind of to keep talking about you moving. And then if he's like, well, what's the point? Be like, yeah, we should probably talk about that.
Okay.
So if you're not going to bring it up right now, just at least don't pretend that or hide the fact away from him that of what your goals are.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I've been doing that.
Don't do that.
Ever since he he got upset, and then I've just been like, okay, I'm going to stop mentioning it now, I guess.
Yeah, well, that you can't do. You have to let him be upset.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll talk to him. No, it's okay. I need some tough love. I need to know what to do. Okay.
Just talk, communicate. You'll work itself out. You're a clearly intelligent and ambitious person. You'll figure it out.
Okay.
All right.
I'll try my best. Yeah.
I know.
I'll try my best.
You can. Well, I think your best is great. So.
Yeah.
Don't lie to me.
Okay, I'm not. I'll talk to him.
All right. Well, we'll check in with you. All right.
All right.
You keep us updated.
Thank you so much for your time.
All right.
We will. I will.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to send in those questions at asknick@theviallfiles.com. For all things texting, office hours, mediation, Ask Nick, you know the drill. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.